Good morning, everyone. I'll tell you, it's been a really dreary day around here the last few days, and I couldn't say that it actually has been raining or anything like that. Maybe a little drizzle here and there, but um, the actual drizzles that I've actually been um, feeling is the negativity that's been across the nation and across the world, and everybody waiting on what's going to happen. Uh, in the elections and so forth, and even the other countries, because apparently whatever happens over here is going to reflect what goes on in other countries. So, but I don't want to talk about that. What I want to talk about today is, and I've been looking over uh, my content, my videos that I've been doing, and it seems like the biggest ones, it's the ones that's been doing the best were the ones that I originally started making, and then a few after that, into the thousands. Now, there was one that I did, it was Homeless at 80, that got 63,000 views, maybe a little more than that, but what it's showing me is 63,000. But, so uh, with everything that there's been things going on in my life that I'm not even going to explain to you, because um, certain emotions come into play with me the last couple weeks, and um, that is something I found out that I have got to work on. That those emotions that came upon me through interacting with other people is what took me down the bad path in the first place. And I don't even like to say it, but the path that it took me down on, the the way I grew up, and all the decisions that were made through that, and the mindset that I had growing up, that was the place that made me feel best, because I was being, somebody was paying attention to me, but I would get myself off into the wrong track by not watching the emotions that was coming my way through contact with other people. So I've been reflecting on that, and I look back over my life, and all the things that I've found myself doing, especially when I'm alone, especially when I don't have anybody in my life that's going to distract me from what it is that my mind and my heart is trying to construct and put together for my life. And I and as I sit and reflect, and I think back on all the bad things that happened to me, and how I survived all of that, and how I survived on such little teeny money. I mean, it's I can't believe it. And I was talking to my daughter yesterday, one of my daughters, and we were reflecting on how bad of a parent that I was, and the man I was married to, their father, uh, and we both concluded, well, at one thing I did, regardless of what my upbringing was, regardless of how dumb I was, or naive I was, or whether or not I was focusing on just myself, I always kept a roof over my children's head. And sometimes I had to do a couple of things that I didn't particularly like doing, and it wasn't nothing bad. But it went against everything I believed in that a woman should be doing or not doing. Just little minor things to keep a roof over our head. And some of them, though, were very challenging to my emotions. And keeping that good energy out away from our lives. So I was way back when me and my kids were growing up, because I was still growing up. Now here we go, the nose itching. And I've noticed a lot of people that do videos and stuff that they're always messing with their face or their hair or something, and there's something going on there that making my face itch, and I don't know whether it has to do with air coming out of while I'm speaking. I don't know, but back when I was raising my kids and myself, I wasn't actually what you would call preparing for anything. And it was after the kids were raised and I had finally got to a halfway decent maturity, I started seeing a pattern in myself that, and as I look back now, that I started to prepare. And what was I preparing for? Now, when I was growing up with my mom always rearranged the house all the time, always having something new here and there. I mean, it wasn't new furniture, it wasn't a new piece of furniture or anything like that. She was always moving things around to have a new perspective on what the house looked like. So I picked that up. But somewhere in there, I had this notion there was something in the back of my mind that was always telling me I could be more than what I'm projecting. And it centered around having an office or having a career. And when I go out shopping at the thrift store, something like that, I always had it within me that I wanted to be dressed a certain way, and I really liked this or I liked that, and I would buy it and I would put it away until if and when I needed it. Oh my nose. And but then and of course and that was where I think I really started preparing, because it didn't even dawn on me to do the other things. Now I was moving the furniture and stuff around, but and making it new all the time. And I started going out and singing different places, and I had the clothing to do that with, to make myself look good, and feel like I was somebody other than this little country girl that grew up knowing nothing. And I found that I had that talent to sing, so I expounded on it. Well, then somewhere in there, then I decided, well, I want a career of some sort, and that takes an office. And I started preparing and trying to build myself an office in whatever home I was in. And I really didn't. And plus all the other stuff I wanted extra bedrooms, and I wanted a nice living room, and a decent kitchen, a nice table where I could sit and be elegant and things like that. And But I would set up different stations in my home to have such. But I was always preparing to have myself an office. But then something else would come along and say, oh, well, that's this and that's out of your league, what do you need an office for, and this and that and whatnot. And then I got on to the fact that I could do my own music at home. I mean, the equipment was out there. So I started buying me equipment and setting my own self up a music studio, a recording studio. I had to have my computers and my printers and stuff. And of course, going to school, you had to have all that stuff anyway. So I started doing all that. And everybody would, and I would have people say to me, well, what do you want an office for? What do you want this for? What do you want that for? Well, first of all, the singing and stuff made me feel good. I used to just love to sit, and after I started entertaining out and about, just sit at the keyboard, learn to do the keyboard good enough that I could sing. I would sing to myself, and I loved doing that. It made me feel like I was doing something wonderful for myself. But going back to the preparing, I've been preparing my life for a long time now to have my own business. And I somewhere in the back of my mind, I knew that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to go about doing it and for what purpose. What business would that be? Well, I tried the recording business a little bit, and I had some of the people come in and record, and they give me a little bit of money to do it. And after all the work that I spent on doing it and a little bit of money, well, I'm sorry, that wasn't enough. I mean, I'm not going to do that anymore because they take advantage of you. So here I am today, and thinking back and wondering why are you preparing for this and why are you preparing for that? Because there's something in the back of my mind that knows that I want to go in a direction of where I have my own business, take care of my own life, fill my life with things I love doing, regardless of what's going on out there. And so I finally have got, and it's not where I want it, because if I had bigger space, it would all be in a different setup. So I've got my little desk here, I've got my laptop here that I can, which I'm recording this on my laptop. And I have my printer over here for this computer over here, that anything I need to print out, I can go over here and do any kind of business I need to do on my business, on my life, what I need to handle for my life. And I've got my recording studio right over here, but it's not. I mean, it's actually it's a recording studio, but it's not. Only way I could record from what the machinery I got right now is if I did it, say I was singing while I was making a video, and I haven't tried that yet, but I did it on my phone. But I want to try to get away from my phone or doing all of that, so my phone will be free for other things. And so that I won't sit there with the phone by my side and going in and fixing out everybody's comments and stuff, and I not to be so focused on what's going on behind the scenes, so to speak. Pick one day, maybe 2 days out of the week to answer people's questions and stuff, and I can do it on this computer over here. So I think a lot ahead of time, especially when things come across my path that it don't seem to be working out for me, and I've got to change that. Okay, how can I change that? And it's a process. I mean, some of us can do it wham bam, and other ones of us can't. So uh, I prepare. I prepare just in case. So here this laptop is here. And it's all hooked up to my music that all I have to do is turn everything on. I go in on here and pull up my program where I get my music from. It's got the words to it. I don't have to be so professional about it all that I have to sit out here and look like uh, I know all the words. Now, a lot of them I do know all the words, and I could do little videos like that. But it's all right here. It's all right here. And that's part of what I talk about preparing. Prepare for what you need. Now, this room is little. I would love to have my dining room table someplace else, and I can't do that right now. I've got enough money saved up from from living in a camper, and putting myself in a position that I'm living on my daughter's and son-in-law's property, and they're very good to me. But I use their graciousness and their love for me and the opportunity to be able to not have to go out and pay rent and pay an electric company. I pay them for the electric I use, and I don't have to go out and pay somebody rent. I own the camper now. And so when you think in those directions of what can I do to make my life more exciting, more profitable, more productive, more giving me the ability to feel better within myself and to keep my frequencies high so that I can always have good come to me, that I don't have to sit around and stress myself out because I'm in this relationship or I have to be here and do that for that person and forget about me, because that's generally what happens. I love being by myself. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a relationship with somebody, but they have to be on the same wavelength as me. But I still want to live by myself. I don't want that restrictions that I have to be there for somebody else all the time. Come and go. That's what I would like. Come and go. So, but like I said, I like being by myself. I like to create my own world. And sometimes somebody else has to come in and help me with that, even if it's helping me figure out what it is that I don't want. So anyway, that's what I've been preparing for. And so here I am. I'm on YouTube making videos. Never in a million years did I think I'd ever be doing that. Now, I have envisioned myself being up on stage and singing to thousands of people. And that may well happen yet. Who knows? But I also envisioned about having my own recording studio and having my own little business. So here I am on YouTube. And making videos can be very uh, uh, few and far between if you're going to do it right. You can't just be popping out videos uh, to just make some views, which that helps. That helps in between, but you have to be you have to be intentional and work on, just like the advertising business. They've got to sit and work continuously on what kind of advertisement they can put out to draw in their customers. So, but it can get tedious having your own business. I just want you to know that. If you don't have your emotions intact, if you don't get offended easy, I've had my times on here that people, say things and stuff that offend me, and I want to react, and I come back and I go sit down, and it just sometimes just eats me up. So you have to struggle through some things if you want your own life to be what you want it to be. So you have to find ways around that. You have to find ways to prepare how to stop that. So here I am in my little office / studio, my little reading nook over there, my little art gallery back there, where I drew my two horses, which I haven't done that for quite a while. And I like doing it when it hits me. I don't want to sit down and purposely have to do it. But yeah, prepare. So if anybody sits and says to you, "Well, what are you doing over there in the corner like that? I mean, what do you need that over there for?" You know you don't have room enough for that, and that's what you're doing. But you got to keep it neat and you got to keep it tidy. So, especially if it's in a small space, so you're not cluttering up your mind and your heart with things that makes you want to change around. And so don't let people say, "Well, what you don't have room for that. You don't have this. You don't have that." If you have a dream and you can't understand why you're doing certain things, then you got to sit down and reflect on it and understand yourself why you're doing the things that you're doing. And have your dream, prepare for it. Now I've got clothes now that I've been gathering up for this purpose. Because I love clothes, I love looking nice, and I had put some weight on, and I cut my hair, which I liked my hair long. I was doing it dark. So don't get alarmed if I go ahead and decide to do my hair dark again, because if I decide that's what I want to do, then I'm going to do it, and I don't want no lashback from it. Just telling you. It's the way with you. Do what feels good to you. Don't. I mean, as long as you're not hurting nobody else, or you're not breaking the law. So I've got some dye in there waiting to see whether or not I'm going to do it or not. Try to put a little bit of makeup on to put some color to my face, because once you get to a certain age and you're not getting the sunlight and stuff you need, you're not like apples and the fruits and stuff you eat. I can't eat the peelings. And it's the color in the apples, the whatever's in there, that will put color into your skin along with the sunlight and stuff. So I don't have that right now. So I use a little bit of makeup to put some color in my face so I don't look gray and dead. I was looking back at some pictures of me back when I was 40. I was pretty. I was pretty. And I took a lot of time, well, not a lot of time, maybe half an hour in the mornings to fix myself up. And then 5 years ago, I looked back at some pictures with my dark hair. You can still tell I was aged, but not like I feel and see right now. And so you do what you need to do. I don't care what anybody else says. If you finally decide that you need to do a certain thing to make you feel good inside about yourself, so you do have the motivation to move forward, especially like this. Okay, I'm really in front of the world. There's millions of people that can sit and watch me on here. And if I'm going to talk about looking to your higher self, looking to the God, the creator within, that the creator within is going to take care of us, then I've got to be who I say I'm going to be. That's just bottom line. Now, am I going to still have bad days? I hope not. I hope I can get through it, especially during the winter time. So I got to make a plan. When it is sun shining out and I know that this body needs sunlight and fresh air, I have got to get out in the sun, at least for a half an hour every day. It doesn't matter whether it's cold out or not. If that sun is shining, I need it. Then, if I want to do a video, then I can do it outside sometimes. If it's dreary out on days or it's too cold to be outside, I've already got the sunlight stored up within me that I can come in here on a cold, dreary day and I can do 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, however many videos I want to do on that particular day, and then save them for. And that takes discipline. That takes being an entrepreneur. That takes knowing what it is that you want to do with your life, period, whether it just be a YouTube channel, whether it be a TikTok channel, whether it be, and you wanting to make money off of it. And that's that, and even if you don't, even if you're not got a fixed income, you say you got a job, but you don't really want that job, and you would like to do something like this, whatever, then you got to prepare for it, and don't let anybody else tell you, say, nah, you ain't got enough time. Somebody posted on here the other day, well, once you get to a certain age, your dreams, you don't have that much time left that you can do that with. Well, I answered that person back and I said, well, none of us are promised the next day. So that's like saying to a 20-year-old, you got this dream and that dream and whatever, well, you might as well just throw it out the window because you could die tomorrow. Nah, I'm not giving up, and you shouldn't give up either. So if you want to do a YouTube, you do a YouTube. And don't be discouraged if you can't do this, you can't do that. Be aware of what videos are going and what ones are not. Now, some of my very first ones was titled very negatively, and people are attracted to that negativity instead of an uplifting video. I mean, you got to title it just right. I found that out. And because if it's not titled with, and a lot of people call that clickbait, but I don't like clickbait. And if people aren't intrigued by the title that I put on there, they're lost. They're lost. So, but I got to get off of here. My nose is itching too bad. So, anyway, if you think you can or if you think you can't, you're right. And a merry heart doeth good like a medicine, and a broken spirit will dry up your bones. So, you all have a great day. We'll see you soon.